you talked about like different PLNs, people on Twitter,
Yeah. Yeah.
sharing. You, I think we share the experience of working with in like in the realm of like K-12 education, and
Hmm.
then the college realm as well.
Yeah.
I would love to get your thoughts on what do you think about the not accessibility, but the willingness to share resources with regards to like K-12 teachers, especially like on Twitter and what people are putting out on their blogs,
Mhm.
versus the college teachers and what they're doing.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I find that K to 12 teachers, there's a lot of them on Twitter and Instagram that are always sharing great ideas,
Mm-hmm.
encouraging one another, supporting each other. I think finding someone in higher ed is a little more of a niche market.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to look for somebody who's maybe teaching a similar course as you, or maybe for me it'd be in an education department. But I usually reach out to them through a direct message, and I've made amazing contacts through direct. I just get right in those DMs like, hey,
Yeah,
hi, how's it
that's
going?
good. That's how we connected.
That's how we roll.
That's how we do business. That's good.
Yes. So I find that having that connection is so important because we can share syllabus, we can share ideas, we can share strategies, things that are working well for your college course. Maybe share some tools that we're using because I feel like we always have to have a plethora of tools because you never know what's going to work for our students. So
Mm-hmm.
having a variety so you know what to grab when is important. And I just made a connection last week. I saw a professor who's using Twitter for her online course. I think she's in New Mexico. And I saw it like one of her students randomly followed me. So then I went and found the professor, found their class hashtag, and I went and I responded to every single one of their student tweets about whatever question they were talking about. I think it was like teaching superpowers. And I went in and I made sure I responded. I know what it's like to have students out there on Twitter, and they're asking questions and no one's responding. So I tried to go back, give back a little bit there and respond to each of them.
That's
Then I reached
awesome.
out to the professor individually, said, hey, I really love what you're doing. Would love to collaborate. So yeah, from there, pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's
But I
awesome.
think it's harder to find people in higher ed on Twitter. What do you think?
I've noticed, and again, it may just be like the worlds I'm in. It feels like people are more protective of what they create, the resources they
Mhm.
make in higher ed. And I understand copyright. I say I understand. I understand that copyright's a thing.
It is a
But like
thing.
I've always been like, hey, I made this, Google form, or I made this, I wrote this, or made this template, and here, have it if you want. Make a copy, it's yours. And it feels like, there's not every teacher, but there are several like teachers that like they feel like I've developed this curriculum or this syllabus or whatever over
Mhm.
10, 20 years, and like it's mine and it's going to
Yeah.
live and die with me. And so, and again, you see that in public ed, like we see that too. There are teachers that you have a brand new teacher and you got teachers been there 30 years. A 30 year vet is incredible, and they retire and they take all their three ring binders with them, and you're like, oh, I want to pass that on to a new teacher, but they're like, no, I want it to go to my house until I hand it off to my grandkids. And I'm like, yeah, they're gonna thumb through your three ring binders.
Yeah,
But
sure.
it's just like, I don't know. I love sharing because I feel like it makes us all better, instead of these silos. And I mean, they're everywhere. It's just I just wanted to get your thoughts on where you saw it as well. But yeah, and you're right. You got to find. It's like you got to be more targeted with higher ed because of
Right.
how specific it is. Whereas like education, it's like you hit a hashtag and you're like, oh, cool, resources. And
Yeah, and
so
I have them
there
all.
they are. They're all mine. They're mine now. And no, I'm just kidding.
Give me all the stuff.
Give me
Yeah,
all of yours.
totally.
I try to give people like if I use a resource and then like elaborate on it and then I share it, I always try to be real careful about, and I'm not the best at it, but I try to be good about saying, hey, I got this from this person originally. Like give them credit as well.
Oh, absolutely. You got to give credit where credit's due. Hey, I worked from this template. I got this idea from this person. This is how I did it a little bit differently in my class, and these are the results, or whatever it may be. And I tell my students all the time, don't recreate the wheel. Somebody else did it. Just adapt it for your own needs. Edit it, tweak it, whatever you need to do, and then give credit to whoever created it.
Absolutely.